okay? We just sit back in our chairs a little bit and place our feet on the ground. Turn our attention inward.
Are we supposed to mute ourselves?
Oh, I can mute you if you want. There we go. All right, I've got you all muted, but you can unmute yourself at any time if you need to tell me something or if anything comes up for you, okay? So go ahead and let's allow the conversation to settle around us as we come out of that head space and really feel the space of the body, becoming really aware of each and every part of the body. Feeling the feet on the ground, the toes and the ankles, knees and thighs. Becoming really, really aware of the physical sensations that rise and fall with the breath. Becoming more and more aware of any part in the body where we may be harboring tension. Taking our attention to the tension and just breathing into it. Calling it into light. And as we drop into our practice today, if there are any other intentions that you'd like to bring forth, now's the time to do it. On your next exhale, go ahead and release that intention out into the world. And slowly bringing that same equanimity and awareness to the moment. We'll slowly open our eyes as we open the physical practice. We're going to widen our stance today. So opening the knees here, we're going to do a different kind of breath work to open and warm the spine. It will also work with our hips. And so many times we do this inhale, exhale. What we're going to do today is circles. And so we're going to really keep those hips on the chair, but we're going to try to isolate the torso so that we are doing circles. Inhaling the sternum forward, exhaling as if someone were punching me in the gut. Inhaling forward, exhaling back, moving at our own velocity and really feeling how I'm waking up the spine and the hips and the shoulders. Let it be a free kind of movement. Moving and breathing. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Just let your body flow. Drawing circles. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and reverse that circle. Moving in the opposite direction now. Inhaling the chest open and exhaling it back. And then come back to center and let's do some shoulder rolls. Forward and back, dropping the shoulder and rolling it onto the spine. Let's shake out some of that tension in the shoulders. So taking the back of the palms, place the back of the palms in the crease of those hips. And so we're going to inhale, trying to lengthen those elbows. And you may not be able to do it completely, and that's totally fine. Do it as much as you can. So again, the back of my palms are right in the crease of my hips. And what I'm doing is I'm inhaling those shoulders up close to my ears, lengthening the spine. Inhale, inhale, and then exhale, let them drop. And then inhaling those shoulders as close to my ears as I can, seeking, reaching to lengthen those elbows. And exhale, let them drop. And one more time. Inhaling, let it be long. Feel the spine growing and lengthening. And let it drop. Shake out the arms, the back of that hand. And then we're going to take the palms out in front of us. So again, my legs are still wide open, okay? We're working on opening the hips here and working the upper spine and shoulder area. So what this helps us do is sit up nice and tall, and it makes it a little bit easier for us to squeeze that belly button back to our spine. So check in with the posture and then push the wall away from you with those palms as you move the hands up, 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 and down, 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 and up, pushing the wall away from us. On an inhale, and down, 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 down. Inhaling up. One more time, inhaling. And exhaling down. Shake out the arms. Let's do some circles with those wrists. Drawing circles, opening the hands, closing them as if you're grabbing onto a door handle and really turning that door handle around. Circles and reverse it. Fold those hands up onto those shoulders so that you're touching the shoulders now. And you may need to move a little bit closer to the front of your chair. We're going to inhale and try to kiss those elbows together. Inhale, big circles, and meet those shoulder blades in the back. As you exhale, inhaling back up. Exhaling back down. Take it at your own speed, coordinating the movement with the breath. Making sure that lower abdomen is pressing back into the spine so that we're sitting up nice and tall and activating our core. And go ahead and shake out those arms. They should be burning by now. Waking up that whole carpal tunnel region, okay? I'm gonna do a little lengthening now since we have a little burn going on in those shoulders. Just take your left arm and cross it over your body. Put your palm on the back of the elbow and try to lengthen that shoulder as you reach across the body. So you may only get here, and that's okay. And what you're looking for is to try to really reach those fingertips away from the shoulder. And you should feel that in the whole length of the arm. Sitting up nice and tall. And go ahead and drop it. We're going to go ahead and put that same arm over our head now. Okay? And I've got my left arm here touching my ear, and then I'm just going to grab that elbow and fold it back behind. So I'm doing this, okay? Giving my lymphatic system a space to breathe. And it's okay if you can't quite get your elbow up over your head. You can just do this in front of your body. Okay, where we were doing this across the body. Now we're doing this above the body. Okay, we're really getting into that. And if you can't feel a stretch there, try leaning away from the arm even. Noticing how it gives a deeper stretch. And coming back up. Inhale, go ahead and exhale and drop those arms. Shake anything out that needs shook. I'm going to go ahead and cross the right arm in front, really reaching across the body. Long necks. Make sure your shoulder's not up by your ear like that. Push it down on your back. There you go. I watched you self-correct so beautifully. It gives you a totally different feeling, doesn't it? Take a nice deep breath here. Drop that arm. Okay. We're going to go ahead and fold that arm over. Come up with the other hand and pull that elbow towards the head. So you might be here. Okay, you might be here. You might be here. What we're doing is you should feel it in this part here, okay? In your underarm and in the back of the arm, okay? And if you're not feeling it, make sure you're sitting up nice and tall, but you can kind of lean away from that arm and you'll feel it some more. There we go. And come back up to center. Take a nice deep breath here before we undo it. And exhale, go ahead and drop those arms. Move in whatever way feels good for you. Okay, we're gonna keep going with this, but we're opening up. So far we've been just working a lot of this upper body. As we open up, we're gonna create a kind of opening through the spine and hips, okay? So we started here, but we're moving down. So go ahead and widen that stance a little bit, even more in your hips. And what I want you to do is drop one shoulder towards the center of those hips. So my hands are on my knees. I hope you can see me. Okay, my hands are on my knees and I'm sitting up nice and tall, and then I'm pushing my knee away as I drop my shoulder into the center. And just breathe into it. And then come back up to center. Using your hands on your knees. Take a deep breath, sitting up nice and tall. Exhale the other shoulder into the center. So I'm looking out over my right shoulder in this instance, and my left shoulder is in the center of my legs. Now this is lengthening the side body, but it's also opening up the psoas and the hip flexor. And go ahead and inhale and come back up to center. We're gonna do one more time on either side. Take a deep inhale, and when you're ready to exhale, drop that shoulder down in between the knees. Take the gaze. My chin is looking for my right shoulder. Inhale it back up. Last time, left shoulder goes down as I exhale. My chin is reaching out over my right shoulder. Take a deep breath here. On your next inhale, come back to center. All right, run those legs in. We've had them wide all morning. You should feel that lengthening in the inner thigh and hip. Run them out. And let's go, keep going with this. We're gonna just walk with these hips now. Make sure those hips are nice and lubricated. You can lift the leg completely so that your foot isn't on the ground, or if you need a little bit more support, you can keep the foot on the ground. What we're doing is we're just walking the sits bones. And then coming back to center. Be sure that the weight is centered over both sits bones, that you're sitting up nice and tall. Squeeze that belly back towards the spine, okay? And we're gonna do this lengthening of the leg. We're going to inhale the knee up, push the wall away from us with our heel, inhale it up, and drop the leg. And we're gonna switch legs, we're gonna alternate legs. That way we don't get too tired on just one leg, okay? So inhale, push it away. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And all the while, we're sitting up nice and tall and lengthening through the back of the neck, squeezing the belly button back towards the spine. Coordinating the movement with our breath. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Okay, that's enough for today on that one. That even burned my thighs. All right, let's go ahead and cross the legs. So this is the one that's a little bit hard for some of us, and I want us to be really careful with our own limitations. So we're crossing the leg either at the ankle, like this, or closer to the knee, or completely at the knee, okay? Whichever feels good for you. Now, if you're here, that's okay. You're crossed at the ankle. Instead of trying to do the micro movement of folding the body over, all you're gonna do is work to open that hip. So it's really soft butterfly flappings of the knee, where we loosen up the knee, Did we lose Barbara? And once that knee feels a little bit looser, we're gonna find our limit and rest there. And then keeping the back in one complete line, as if I had a board tied to my back, have I swaddled, yes? I'm going to just fold over my leg a centimeter. Keeping a nice long neck. Notice, I'm not trying to go all the way down. That's not the goal. It's a very small movement that allows the back hip to relax, to lengthen. And just breathe into it. If your knee is up here, that is so okay, guys. We don't need to, there's nowhere to get. We're working on it and reaching for it, okay? One more long inhale and exhale here. And then bring the spine back up to a centered position. And uncross the legs. Go ahead and walk that out just a little bit. And we're going to take the other side. Crossing the leg at the ankle. We're just going to do these very small butterfly movements with our hips. We're not trying to push the knee down. We're just allowing it to move slightly. And once you feel like you've called to your hip, you can go ahead and sit up nice and tall. Imagine that swaddle board and just fold over your body, even half an inch. Really breathing into it, visualizing that space, that lengthening. On your next inhale, come back to center, uncross the legs there, and run them out a little if you need to run them out. Okay. By now we should be feeling pretty warm, and I don't mean because of the sun. I mean because we've moved our body enough to awaken those muscles. So we're gonna go ahead and do we're gonna work on getting out of the chair today. So just like we always do, these major fake outs where we come to standing, but then we sit down, almost about to sit down, and then we come to standing, okay? So we are going to, on a check-in with our feet, make sure our feet are right under our knees, and exhale all the air. When you're ready to get up, we're going to inhale and push the ground away from our body, coming to a standing. And then we're going to exhale as if we're going to sit down. And then inhale, come back to standing. So these are dynamic seated chair poses with yoga. And we're making sure that my tummy is really nice and active here. I don't have this belly that's here, okay? Active, squeeze that lower belly back to the spine Every time I want to stand up, I push the floor away from my body. And act like I'm sitting. I can put my hands out in front of me if that works for me. I can put them in prayer position. I can put them out to the side. You decide what feels good for you. Come back to standing. This is our last one. Act like we're sitting down. And push the ground away from us. Very good. We got some strengthening in our legs there. Okay. We're going to walk around now to the back of our chair. Okay. And once we're here at the back of our chair, we're going to check in with our feet. I want you to go ahead and roll around those feet. Roll up on the ball of the right foot. Feel the ground underneath the knuckle of each toe. Rolling through the toes and the ball of the foot and the ankle. Giving your foot a nice little massage there. And you can reverse that. And the other foot now, rolling through and really pausing and breathing and feeling each and every articulation. Rolling behind the knuckles of the feet. All the while, my belly button is pressing back towards my spine, activating the core. To reverse those circles, giving our feet a nice massage. And then coming back to center, checking in with the feet, noticing where the ground supports us. And then we're going to go ahead and step those feet back. Walking the feet backwards as we reach our hips away from our hands. And you should feel this in your hamstring here. You might also feel it in your hips or in your shoulders, depending on where you are carrying your tension today. Be certain that your head is not droopy or staring at the back of the chair. That'll cause a kink. Try to find one long line from the crown of the head to the coccyx. And play with this. Bend the right knee. And then straighten it. Bend the left knee. And straighten it. Notice the difference in sensations when you bend both knees. And then straighten those hips, reaching them towards the ceiling. Reaching them away from the chair. Wag your tail like a happy puppy. And then taking the gaze to the back of the chair, along with a deep breath, go ahead and walk those feet back into the chair. Come to full standing. Take another deep breath to be certain that you've got your bearings, you're grounded in your center. And then we're going to go ahead and step that right foot back into a shallow lunge. I'm looking to press my heel into the ground. My front leg is flexed so that my knee is directly over my heel. I'm looking to stand tall here. If I can't, that's okay. It's all right if I lean on the chair. But you'll notice a very different stretch if you come to a straight position with the chest. If you raise the chest, you'll notice that the lengthening happens in the front of the thigh and the back of the calf, which will relieve tension from the knees. If I bend over like this, the stretch becomes more about the calf and less about the hip. So it depends on what part of your body is asking for your attention at this moment. And you know when it's asking for your attention because it will feel tense. And then placing the hands on the back of the chair, use your weight to push off the back leg and come back to standing. You may want to shake that leg out. I'm going to do the other side now. Coming back to that centered grounded feeling on our feet. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and step the left leg back. Push the heel down. Be certain that the knee is in line with the front heel. Squeeze that belly button back to the spine. And then whenever you're ready, place the hands on the back of the chair and push off that back leg in order to come back to standing. Shake out the leg if you need to. Now we're going to do a different one. We have one hand on the chair, and we're going to take a wide stance. The foot that's closest to the back of the chair is going to turn so that my toes are under the chair. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to flex my front leg. Now you should really feel how this lunge gives you a very different sensation. Rather than the front of the leg, you're getting this inside of the hip, this where all of the psoas. There's George. And if you feel comfortable and confident in this position, you can go ahead and raise your arms so that you become the warrior. Gazing out over those front fingers, finding stability. And then dropping the arms and pushing the ground away from the body. Both legs are straight now. Swivel those toes around so that both toes are facing forward. And then scissor the feet back together. Okay, I'm going to change the side of my chair just so that if you need to do that, then you know you have it there. We're going to do the other side. So opening a wide stance. The foot that is closest to my chair, I'm going to turn so that my toes are facing and just maybe under the chair slightly. My hips are still facing forward here. And whenever I feel ready, I'm just gonna flex that front leg. Now flexing that front leg means that my knee is right over my heel. My back foot is firmly planted on the ground. My hips are open, and when I feel ready, I can take my arms up and gaze out over my fingertips. Finding stability. It's okay to hold on to the chair if you need an extra hand on things. And then dropping the arms. Go ahead and push the floor away from you. And swivel those toes back to front so that you can scissor the legs back in. Okay. We're going to come back and sit in our chair. So slowly and elegantly, like ladies and gents of the court, we're going to lower our sits bones onto the chair and sit gracefully. All right. We're just going to do, I know we just did a little bit with the psoas there, but I realized that that there's, when we do it on the chair, we get a much different stretch, and I think part of that has to do with the knee dropping down to the ground here. So I do want us to go ahead and do that quickly. So let's just slide one leg down. Make sure you can see them. I have one leg bent and off to the side, and my right knee is reaching for the ground. I'm using the back of the chair to hold on to me. But you may notice that this gives you quite a different sensation from the other lunges. And part of that is because I've taken the weight off the back leg. And so I'm just allowing that to lengthen out of the hip. Gravity is pulling those ligaments and those connectors out of the hip socket so that it's lengthening and softening. So just breathe into that. You don't need to stretch the leg any further behind you than you want. And just let it hang down there and really feel the gravitational pull. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and inhale and bring that knee to greet the other one. We'll kind of shake them out if you need to. Come around to this other side. Dropping my left knee now down towards the ground. I have one leg off to the side and one that's reaching for the ground here. Now, I don't know about you, but my right hip is so much tighter than my left hip. And that is really normal. Just means you need to give it a little bit extra attention. Sit up nice and tall and let gravity do its thing. And little by little, go ahead and inhale. Bring that knee back into center to greet the other. We'll come back here to center. Before we do hands, we're going to open up. We're going to do Ganesh Mudra, which is about removing obstacles. So just to open up any obstacle that might be there in the shoulder region. I'm going to sit like this because that's what makes me feel most comfortable. But you should sit however you feel most comfortable. So we're going to go ahead and take the right hand and clasp it over the left hand so that I'm creating a kind of lock with my fingers. And my elbows are going to do a pull away from each other. So I'm going to inhale without pulling. And then exhale, I try to pull those elbows away from each other. I'm really trying to release those fingers from each other as if they're locked tight and glued together. And I'm exhaling all the air. And when I need to inhale, I just drop it just slightly. Just let it be. And when it's time to exhale again, deep, deep inhale. And exhale, pull those elbows away from each other. We are removing any obstacles. And inhale, relax. Last time on this side, go ahead and exhale, pull those elbows away from each other. And let them loose. You can shake it out before we do the other side if you want to. And then placing the left hand on top now. Making a clasp with the hands. Take a nice inhale. And when it's time to exhale, pull those hands away from each other. Pull those elbows as if they're really fighting to release the locked hands. And inhale. Whenever it's time to exhale again, go ahead and exhale. Pull those elbows away from each other. And inhale. Last time on this side. And exhale, remove all those obstacles. And go ahead and release it all. Okay. Just gonna go ahead and rub the hands together to create some heat in those hands. Rub them together until it starts to burn. We could sing a song if you want to. That'll help you forget about it. When you just can't take it anymore and you feel the burn and it's time to stop, go ahead and take those hot hands and put them over your eyes. Inhale the warmth. Feel the sensation. And then dropping the hands down into heart space. We're going to push the palms together, push the fingers together, peel the palms apart. We're trying to keep the backs of our fingers really firmly placed together while pulling the palms away from each other. You should feel it in the back of the knuckles, and then pushing the palms, dropping the elbows, I'm gonna open those fingers up, keeping the pinky and thumb together, opening the abundance, the lotus flower. And closing those fingers, pushing the fingers tight, peeling those palms away from each other, lengthening behind those knuckles of the hands. Gosh, I even feel this in my shoulder. It must be really tight. Push those palms together and peel those fingers apart. Go ahead and one more time. Push the backs of the fingers together while peeling the palms away. And then lower the elbows. Inhale the flower. And then shake the hands out. All right. So we're going to do a little lateral stretch now on the side. This is whenever we lengthen the lateral, we're also alleviating a lot of the strain on the lower back. So this is something that you can do at home even when you don't see me on Mondays, to try to work on lengthening in between all of those ribs, all the little connective tissue there. So go ahead and left hand on the chair. And we're going to use that left, actually, I'm going to change it. I'm sorry. Open your legs here. We're going to give you a little bit more support. So sitting up nice and tall, we're going to take the elbow to knee, keep those sits bones on the chair, and then reach that arm across. I'm gazing up at the inside of my elbow. I can really feel the lengthening of the side body, the top of the hip. Be careful that you're not rolling forward like this. If you have to keep the arm in a bent fashion, that's okay. You want to make sure that you're opening the chest. So if you can't fully lengthen that elbow, that's okay. Just keep it like this. What's important is this part. And whenever you're ready, bring that arm back down. Use your elbow to push the body back up to center. Do any movement that feels good here before we go on to the other side. And then taking that elbow down to the knee. If this is really easy for you, you can also let the arm just hang down. But I think this is a nice support for you. So keeping the elbow on the knee, checking to make sure the sits bone's firmly grounded. We're going to go ahead and take the arm up. I'm going to gaze up at it. I can lengthen the arm if that feels good. I can keep the arm in a W. Breathe into it. And exhale that arm down. Use your hand to come back to sitting position. All right. Let me check the time. All right, we're doing pretty good. So we're going to do a twist, and then I will invite you all to unmute yourself to let me know if there's anything that you would like to add on to our class at the end, okay? So if you have something that you can grab hold of with your knees. Now's a good time. It could be a sweatshirt, a book, it could be a pillow. Scoot those sits bones kind of onto the edge of your chair. We're just grabbing something with our knees so that we are certain that our knees stay, our hips and knees stay as an anchor on this one. So we're going to sit up nice and tall. Squeeze the belly button back towards the spine. You take the back of the left palm and place it on the outside of the right knee. I'm going to use that to create leverage to turn my body to the side as I inhale the right arm up. And on the exhale, I'm going to let that right arm fall behind me. Now, this can look just like this, where my arm is behind me, just like this. It can look like this too, if you need a little bit more stretch. It could look like this, where I grab onto the chair and help my body. Feel what works for you. The most important part here is that you're reaching for it and that you're looking for this lengthening of the spine as you twist it so that you're not kind of slouching into it, but rather opening up the chest, tightening that lower abdomen. Take one more long inhale and exhale here. And on your next inhale, go ahead and inhale the gaze forward first, and then let the arms unravel. Come back to center, fidget if you need to, roll those shoulders, listen to the body, and whenever you're ready, we'll do the other side. Placing the back of the right palm on the outside of the left knee. I'm sitting up nice and tall. Use that for leverage to twist my upper body. Inhaling the left hand to the ceiling. And when I'm ready, I exhale and let that arm fall back behind me. My gaze is shooting out over my left shoulder or reaching for it. And I'm just breathing. Allowing each exhale to be a release. One more long inhale here. Exhale all that air, and on your next inhale, let the head come forward first. And go ahead and exhale, unravel the body. Okay. So now's the time. Go ahead and if you have anything that you'd like us to add before we drop into the relaxation part, go ahead and unmute yourself and tell me now. Otherwise, forever hold your peace.
Can we do the one where we
Lateral? Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, let's do it.
My
Okay.
dog was trying to figure out where your dog was.
What?
My dog was trying to figure out where your dog was.
Oh,
He heard him, but he couldn't see him.
you know, I don't have a dog. It's just someone outside the window, I think, that has a dog outside. I wish I had a dog. My husband is adamantly against it. So, You know, I think if we're going to do those lateral stretches, it would be nice to go ahead and place that thing, whatever it is, between our knees again. Just helps us sit up nice and straight and keep the sits bones on the chair. So place whatever it is between your knees. And we'll do a few different diagonal reaching and pulling and swiveling. So we'll make it kind of like a dance. How's that? Okay, so take your right hand and go ahead and reach across the body and present it out, swivel it around. Go ahead and drop it down. Other side, reaching across, swiveling it around, dropping it down, reaching across. We're just doing horizontal right now. Across and down, reaching across the body, swiveling it around. Let's go downward now, down and up and down, crossing the body at a downward position, swiveling the arm up and dropping it, and down and up and down and up. And now we're going to go up and over and up and over and up and over and up and over. And we'll do one more across just to end it. Across and around and across and around and come back to center. Roll those shoulders after doing all that work. I feel like we should do something with the neck here before we end. Let's go ahead and do our isometric neck work. So I want you to place your right hand on the side of your cheek and attempt to push your head as if you want to look to the right. So you're resisting. Your hand is not allowing you to move your head to the right. You'll probably notice that in doing this, you activate the core muscles. Inhale, drop the hand now. And on the exhale, move the chin over to the right. Inhaling back to center. Let's bring the left hand up to the face here. Resist. Make your hand resist the movement of your head. You're trying, you're looking for it, you're reaching for it, you want it, but it's just, you can't quite get it. Inhale, drop the hand. Exhale, swivel that chin over that left shoulder. And inhale back to center. Let's just do little circles with the nose now. Tiny spirals. Slow, smooth movements. It's like we're drawing a circle with our nose. You can let that circle get a little bigger or a little smaller. And just breathe into any tension you might have there in the shoulder or neck. And reverse that movement now. then slowly come back to center. You can remove whatever is in between your knees and settle into your chair as you turn your attention inward. Noticing the subtle physical, emotional, and energetic changes that have taken place since the start of today's practice. Understanding the impermanence with which it all exists. And so as our breath rises and falls, so do the sensations of the body. So do the ebbs and flows of our emotions, rising and falling. As we scan the body for any remaining tension, let each exhale be a path that takes you deeper into a state of profound understanding and awareness, into a state of profound relax, of letting go, letting loose. Feel the bottoms of the feet, and the toes, and the insteps and arches, the heels and ankles, and calves. And everywhere your attention touches, simply lets loose. Every nerve ending, every ligament, every tendon and muscle. In the knee, in the thigh, in and around the hips, and all of the vital organs. Feel a lengthening of the tissues in between the ribs, an expansion of space, in the shoulders and underarms, and all the small canals of communication in the hands, wrists, and elbows. Allow the attention to roam into the sternum, chest and throat, and every tiny muscle in the face. Even your hair follicles relax. As we close physical practice of today, so begins our true practice of living this equanimity and awareness in our everyday life. And so slowly opening the eyes and welcoming that into the moment. We'll bring our hands together in gratitude for this holistic practice that allows us to integrate the body and the mind and the spirit and the energy in a space of love. Thank you for coming and practicing with me today. Sadnam. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Stephanie.
You're very welcome.
Is the place where the dog barks some people out there? Because I kept hearing voices. Are there people
Yeah, it's like Grand Central Station. I should have, it's hard because if I mute myself then you can't hear my directions.
Yeah.